like to thank Robert and Isaiah for having me here tonight. I really appreciate it. And all you guys that came here. That's really awesome. So I will be talking to improving your Sublime Text, especially 3 workflow. Okay, so first, who is me? That's me. That's my adorable daughter right there. And I am front-end developer at a company called Concepta. I also do some personal projects under name Web Solutions FL, so you try to find me on Twitter and something. My nickname is Web Solutions FL. I work with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for around 6, 7 years. And also I work with WordPress and PHP for around 3 years. And that's when I started working with Sublime. So I worked with Sublime for around 3 years as well. Okay, so what is this talking about? I'll be talking what is Sublime Text, why should I use, how to use the comments palette, working with multiple carrots. Some people say cursor, but is the correct say is caret and selection. How to work with projects, must-have packages, shortcuts, and also how to style a theme or Sublime to make it beautiful. Okay, so what is Sublime Text? Why should I use? Following Wikipedia, Sublime Text is a sophisticated text editor for code and markup written in Python by John Skinner in 2007. And the nice thing about Sublime is that it's a really lightweight app, a software, and you can extend its functionality with packages and external packages. So you can do a lot of cool stuff, and even you can write your own package. I will explain a little bit later more about packages. Packages are mostly free, which is cool. Some of them are paid, but to have a paid package in Sublime, trust me, it will be a really good package, because we have a lot of good packages free. So, and it's nice because the packages are built by the community and maintained by them. So you can find a lot of stuff on Google, on Stack Overflow, a new package. And the cool thing about Sublime is that all the settings, all the key bindings is pretty much a JSON file. So you can go to the settings, to the default settings, to the default key bindings, and you pretty much can understand everything. It's a JSON file with in the key bindings, the shortcut and the command. So it's pretty easy to understand, and we will take advantage of that because we need to customize our own settings. I will show how to do this later. Sublime is also a cross-platform software, so you can work with Windows, Mac, or Linux. In this case today, I will be showing on Mac. I'm a Mac user. But usually in Windows, the shortcuts, you need to change the command for control. Not always, but usually it is the same thing in Windows. Okay. Now here I have a graph from the guys from a company called Frontify. They interview 190 people. And as you can see, Sublime has a huge community behind this. I'm not saying Sublime is better than those other editors, but it's definitely there are more people using Sublime, so sometimes it's easier to find packages, to find solution for what you're looking for. And also I have another graph here by Google. So this graph shows front-end developers searching for editor for front-end developer in Google. So as you can see, from 2011, Sublime has been growing really, really fast. Okay, so now I will close the slides and I will open my Sublime. I have a fresh installation here. There's no package, no theme, nothing. I will show everything from scratch. So if you guys have a Sublime, and can follow me, it'll be good. Okay, oops. So I will open my Sublime. Sublime is, oh, I forgot something. Just to have an idea, how many of you guys has been using Sublime here? Okay, it's a good number. Oh, I forgot to mention, Sublime is a paid app. The license is $7, but it's a $7 and it does expire, so you can buy and use for your whole life if you want to. But when they release the version 4, you need to pay like a fee, I don't remember exactly the fee, to upgrade that. And but if you don't buy it, there's no problem actually. But sometimes when you save your file, we will see an alert saying, "Hey, show some love, buy it, buy it." But you don't need to buy, to be honest, if you don't want to. And I want to show you guys some cool stuff about settings, shortcuts right here, because think, at least in me, I work as front-end developer for almost 9, 10 hours a day. You're most of the time using your editor. So you need, I used to say, you need to master your language, I mean, JavaScript or PHP or Ruby or whatever, but you actually need to also master your editor. You'll be really faster to do things, and by the end of the day, you'll save a lot of time. So let's open Sublime. As I said, it's a fresh installation. As you can see here, I will open a folder so we can see the left sidebar. Right here. Okay. So let's take a look at the overview about the layout of the Sublime, the interface. Okay, so right at the top you have the menu navigation, the menu system. You pretty much have all the commands here. It's very nice when you start with Sublime to take a look on those options that you have, because you don't know yet the shortcuts to do things. And usually when you go to that menu, you can see on the right side the shortcut to do those commands. So it's really helpful. But I highly recommend you guys to try to always use the shortcuts. It will save a lot of the time at the end of the day. On the left sidebar, we have the folder structure or the project structure if you have a project. I will explain the difference between only a folder and project later. So you can see all your files, all your images, JavaScript, CSS, and everything. Here we have the editor itself. I can open multiple files. We have the tabs. And this, on the right side, it's a nice feature that they have. They call a minimap. So let's say, in this case, I have a big CSS file. It's very easily to scroll between the file using this minimap right here. And also, at the bottom, we have the status bar. Right now, it's showing my line, in the line that I am at, and the column, the space indentation, and also the language that I'm using right now. So this file is a CSS file. It's showing me a CSS file at the bottom. This status bar is helpful because Sublime uses a lot of packages. When installing a package, you can see the progress. You can see if the package is installed successfully on everything at the bottom. Usually, when I'm working with Sublime, I don't want to see this folder structure at the left side because there is a more effective way to find files in Sublime. So I will show you guys the first shortcut right now. So it's pretty much, let me go here. I need to hit Command KB and should hide the left sidebar and do the same thing to display the sidebar. As you can see here again. Okay, so let's talk now a little bit about command palette. Command palette is pretty much, you can do everything that you do on your menu system navigation, but you don't need to find. So you can just type and search about the command that you're looking for. So to open the command palette, you just press Command-Shift-P, and you can see we have those Sublime's default commands right here. When we install a package, we will see also the package commands in that list as well. Right now we don't have too much stuff. I mean, we have much stuff, but everything here is from Sublime already, okay? So let's say, oh, this file is not a CSS file. I can change the syntax. Oh, it's not a file, it's a JSON file. I can just click here, and you can see change the type of the syntax. Okay, so I think most of the people that use Sublime, the first thing that they do when they open Sublime is to install the package control. Package control is a package that control other packages. So you pretty much can install other packages without leaving your Sublime. You can do everything direct from your Sublime. To do that, we need to go to their website. Let's just type here, Sublime text, package control. Okay, so we have the installation link. It's pretty easy to find. In my case, it's Sublime Text 3. So I just need to copy this comment right here and execute this inside my Sublime. How can I do that? Sublime has a console to do that. So to open, I just press Control and backtick. So as you can see here, we have the console. I would just paste that code and hit enter. It's installing. One nice thing, a lot of times that you install a package, you don't need to close your Sublime and open again. Sublime already refresh all their settings. So I think install already. Okay, I just installed package control, but how do you know if this package control is really installed? So again, we go back to the command palette, Command-Shift-P, and now you type package control right here. So now we have a lot of package control options, which means package control is there already. I will close the console. Oops. There you go. One nice thing that Sublime uses a lot is what they call fuse search. What is that, fuse search? Let's open the command control, the palette control, command palette, sorry, again. And here I can pretty much type, I don't need to match exactly the thing that I'm looking for. So let's say I'm looking for package control. I will just pack, con, or something like this. Sublime is smart enough to know I'm looking for package control. Okay. Let's close this file. Another cool feature from Sublime is a feature called Go to Anything. We have some variations for Go to Anything. To open the Go to Anything, you can use, as I said before, the menu navigation at the top. But again, I highly recommend you guys to try the shortcut. You'll be very fast. So I just press Command-P. This is my Go to Anything. As you can see, it's listing all my files for my folder structure right there. So this is the way that I told before. It's easier to open a file. So let's close my left sidebar. Open my Go to Anything, and if I wanted to open my Bootstrap CSS, I can type just like something like boots and CSS. Sublime knows already I'm looking for it, so I just can open the file like this. It's very fast to do. Go to Anything has also some cool features like go to the line, go to definition, and find for terms in your files. I will show you guys first, the first one, the find terms. The nice thing is, let's say you are looking for a term in a file and you really don't know the name of this function or CSS class, whatever we're looking for. You can do this by find, using the find functionality, but you can also do in a faster way using the Go to Anything. So using the Go to Anything, I can do the sign upon or hashtag, and you can see it's showing me a lot of definitions for my file. And I can combine with this. So let's say I want to open, let me close this CSS file, and I want to find something like, let's try text area. So if I go to anything, I want to bootstrap CSS, text area. As you can see, I don't have the Bootstrap CSS open, but Sublime still find it for me. So right here. And let's say you are working with JavaScript, and you see in your JavaScript file, you have a error in your console. So let's open a JS file right here. And it needs to go to, okay, so the error is on the 99 line, the line 99. So you just press Control G, and you are good to go direct to that line. You can do the same thing if you don't have the file open. So again, I'm with my index file, and I need to go to my Bootstrap file. I just go to the command to go to anything. Bootstrap JS line 100. You're good to go. Let's go to this again. Oh, and also, I work with WordPress, PHP. You have functions, classes, and we have the functionality for Sublime called go to the definition. So I will open my WordPress project. Let's open. Okay, so right here I have a function called get cron lock. Let's say, let's close this file. I can do the same thing right here. So I'm trying to go to config. Oh, sorry. What's the name? Login header, sorry, let's get this function right here. So I know it's on WP login, and I want to go to login. I want to go to that function. I don't need to open a file. I can just find through here. Login header. So this is really helpful, useful. You don't need to have this folder structure on your left sidebar. You can do everything from your go to anything. Okay, so let's talk now a little bit about Sublime settings. As I said before, everything from settings is a JSON file, so it's very easy to understand. To find, let me go here. Okay. So I go to Preference, Settings Default. This is all the default settings from Sublime. So as you can see, it's very easy to understand. Okay, so what is my font face? What is my font size? What is my font options? And you can go scroll through this file to understand a lot of cool things that Sublime has by default. But I don't recommend you guys to change this file right here, because when you upgrade to your version 4, let's say, you lose everything. Sublime will override this file. So that's why they have what they call the Sublime user settings. But the nice thing is you can see the commands that you want to customize through here. So let's say, okay, by default, my Sublime has font size 10, and I want to change that for 16. I will open the preference, settings user. As you can see here, oh, I already have that. But let's try again. I want a 30. You don't need to close the Sublime. You now have by default the font size 30. So every custom settings that you have, you need to put on this file as a JSON file. So you do a comma here and do another. Let's get another one here. I can set the alt indenting to false, smart indent to false, indents brackets. There's a lot of stuff here, to be honest. So let's take this off again. So I only have my default settings. There you go. I talk about settings, but we also have the key binds where you have all the shortcuts from your Sublime. And as I said before, I highly recommend you guys to use those shortcuts. So of course, when you start using Sublime, you don't know the shortcuts. You don't, maybe you know the basic one like Command C, Command V to copy and paste, but you want to learn more shortcuts. So you can go to keybinds, sorry, default. And as you can see, a JSON format again, JSON file again. You have the key, so it's pretty much what the key you need to hit to execute that command. So super in Mac it means command. So in this case, to open a window, we just press Command Shift N. There you go, you have a new window. So you can take a look on this file right here to see what are shortcuts available for you to use. And again, don't touch that file. So you can lose everything when you upgrade your Sublime. You do your custom shortcuts in your Sublime keybinds for user. Right here, preference, keybind user. Okay, so let's create one custom shortcut. I will change the project again. Bootstrap. One annoying thing that usually happens with us front-end developers is when you copy a HTML file from HTML code from your browser or even for your file. When you paste that, it's not indented very well. So let's give you an example. Let's get the nav right here, open a new file, and as you can see, we have those space right there. How can you fix that? Sublime has a shortcut to do that. So instead of just Command V, you press Command Shift V. There you go. But let's say, okay, Sublime has the shortcut, but if I don't remember that, I want an easy way to paste and have my code organized like this, indented very well like this. We can customize our Command V to do that for us. What we need to do, go to the Sublime set, the keybind default, find that command. In this case, you can see here, Super V, Command V, just paste. But Command Shift V, you can see my line, paste and indent for me. So what should I do to this by default? I open my keybinds user, JSON file again, paste that here. And instead, Command Shift V, I will leave this as Command V. So every time that I hit Command V, I should be good to go and have my code organized. Let's try to see if it's working. Let's try to copy this again. Command V, there we go. So now you have a shortcut customized. You don't need to remember that shortcut from Sublime. You can do this with a bunch of shortcuts. Just be careful to not conflict with others. That's a bad thing, actually. When you install a lot of packages, those packages creates some shortcuts and sometimes conflict with another ones. So just be careful with that. Okay, so as I said before, we have the folder structure, but we can also have the project structure. Why it's good to work with projects? So let's save this Bootstrap project because right now it's just a folder. Let's save this as a project. So I go to project and save project S. I can save this in my root file, doesn't matter. I can save whatever I want to. And we'll generate right here a .sublime project. So let's call this Bootstrap. Okay. So now I have a project. So let's make sure this is really a project. The shortcut to open the projects is Command Control P. Switch project. So now we have a Bootstrap project. Okay, but now we have just one, so it really doesn't matter. I want to show you guys this feature, Switch project, which is really cool. So I will open that WordPress project and save this project as well. WordPress. Okay? So right now, as you can see, I still have only one project. So what happened here? When you work with projects, when you create a project, in that case, it's not like a package, you need to close your Sublime to refresh the projects. But it's a lightweight, so it's very fast to do. Now I have two projects, as you can see, Bootstrap and WordPress project. And let's work with this functionality, Switch project. So as you can see here, I have three tabs open: an index.html, my key map with the full, and I have this file that I just created right now to show you guys the HTML. So let's open new files right here. Okay, I have 5 tabs, but let's say your boss just told you, okay, so go to that other project, we need to update some code there. So what you do, Command Control P, I need to work on this WordPress project, so it's here already. But actually, when you finish that, you need to go back. So we just do the same thing. And as you can see, we still have the same tabs open. So this is really helpful. And to be honest, in my daily basis when I'm working, I open a project that I have tabs like from last week open. So you can remember, oh, I was working on that function, on that file. And this is really helpful. When you have project, another nice thing to do is find on this project. By default, Sublime doesn't have a project. You need to save this as a project. And you can search through your folder. But if you have a project, you can search through your project. So to open the search, we just need hit Command-Shift-F. As you can see there, we have find, where, and if you want to replace something, the replace. So how can you find something in our project without using the go to anything? Let's say I want to find this class right here, subheader, where? In this case, I have a project, so I can do something like this. Project, just hit enter, and there you go. We found what we want to. We can do the same thing for folder. So let's say we want to find, we have a JS file, we want to find a required. Instead of project, I can do this as folder. Whoa, it find a lot of stuff. I can also do look through my folder right here, add folder, JS, required. Now it's easier to find. Right here. You just double click to open the file. Okay, so another cool thing to do as a front-end developer, when you are working on HTML and CSS, sometimes you want to open both files together. If you have a big screen like this, it's nice to have side by side, so we can see you are creating elements, associating the class, and you want to style the class right away. So how can we do that? Again, we can do everything from the menu system right here, but I recommend to use the shortcut. The shortcut to open a new, what they call panel, is Command Option, the number that the panel that you want to. If I would just want one panel, Command Option 1, Command Option 2, Command Option 3, 4, and if I press 5, it goes to like this because we don't have space anymore. But this is showing side by side. I can also, sometimes I prefer to work with a file at the top and another file at the bottom. So instead of columns, I want rows. So instead of just doing Control Command Option 2, I can do Command Option Shift 2. I just need to add the shift on the shortcut to see more rows. So if I press 3, 4, it's only 3, 4. So it's really helpful, especially with HTML and CSS. Okay, so now I will talk about multiple carets and selection. As I said, a lot of tutorials on the web, you find multiple cursor. What's wrong? The correct term for that is multiple carets, because caret is that blinking right there. That's the caret. And to be honest, when I started working with Sublime, this was the first feature that I saw and I said, whoa, this is really nice. Okay, so what the multiple caret allows me to do is I can, let's say I want to get this link right here, and I want to select other links like this. I just hit Command D, and as you can see, it's got all my three links right there. I can do the same thing by search, but as I said, this is really faster than do that. But also happens sometimes, let's get an example right here. You have a list, well, li elements, and you are trying to get all the li elements. So you can do things like this, Command D, Command D, Command D. But you can find also this. Oh, I got a link. I don't want a link. I just want a li. So this, I have another shortcut to skip a match, which it is, instead of Command Z, I can do Command KB. So let's do this. Command D, Command D, Command D. I don't want the next one. Can you guys see there? Better? Okay. So as you can see, I've got a L. No, I don't want this guy right here. So I just press Command key D and skip that match. Key D again. You are skipping. Okay. So this is really nice. And let's say we are working with multiple selection again. Let's get the li example. What can I do with this? I can write over here. So let's say in this li, I want to add a class to style. I can do something like this. There you go. Oh, let's say we want to change that for, it's not a li, it's a paragraph. I can go to the navigate through my HTML and change right here. There are other ways to do that, but I just want to show you guys the power of the multiple carets. Let's go back. Oh, another nice thing about the multiple carets is that, let's say you are not in get one by one. You just like copying something like this, selecting the code, and you realize, no, I want a multiple character here for each line. You can do a Command Shift L, and as you can see, at the end we have a caret blinking. So we don't need exactly use the Command V. You can just select what you want to. This is really helpful for when you get some code from internet or a list that you need to convert to a real list in HTML. It helps to write the li and close the li tag. It's really helpful. Let's go over a few other shortcuts. Oh, I was showing you guys the Command Z, so you can get all the elements one by one, like li, li, li. But let's say we have a lot of li's in our file, and I don't want to hitting Command Z a lot of times. I want to get all of them like right away. Of course, I can do this by searching, but I want an effective way to do that. So what should I do? I just press Command. Let's go to LI. I need to have my caret there. So I just press Command, Control G, and there you go. It automatically select all my LIs in my file. Let's go over to other shortcuts. Again, take a look on the settings, on the keybind settings, the default from Sublime. You can learn a lot of shortcuts. You also can see the shortcuts on the options, on the command palette as well, right here on the left and the right side. Okay, let me show you. We want to delete a whole line without doing like this and hit delete. There's a faster way to do this. Just hit Command key and you are good to go. So you need to press twice because you need to, okay, it's this line and delete. We can also do the same thing. Oh, I want to cut this div right here. I don't need to select everything. I have a shortcut to select the whole line. I can do Command X, Command V, Command X, Command V. Okay, but let's say you don't know this shortcut to Command X. You have also a shortcut to select the whole line. It's the Command L. So you can do this and copy and paste. Command L. If you hit more than those, you will select the next line. So let's say you want to grab this whole block of code. You're good to go. Oh, one nice feature from Sublime, which happens a lot with me, is when you are copying something from a file, and you are going through other files and you copy another thing. So you lost your previous copy, right? So how we can keep a history of that? So let's try, I will copy this H2 element right here, and I go to another file, I go to I will copy like now a CSS. So now I lost my previous copy. How can I keep a track of that? If I go back here and want to paste that, I can do something like this. Command K, Command V. You have your whole history for your copied stuff. So here I have my body that I just copied right now, and I have my H2 element, as I said before. So this is really helpful when you're copying a lot of stuff and you want to have this history. Okay, so now let's take a look on some packages. I think to start, I need to mention Emmet. I think you guys know what is Emmet. Emmet is a package not only for Sublime, for a lot of editors that allows you to write HTML, CSS really, really, really fast. So first, we need to install that package. So how can we install a package in Sublime Text? Again, go to the command palette. Command palette do everything for you. So always go to there. Command palette is Command Shift P. Okay, so how can I install package here? Just type this, install package. There we go. Package control, install package. When you do that, sometimes the first time will load a little bit because it's loading all the repos from GitHub or other repos. As you can see, there's a lot of packages here. So let's try install Emmet. I just need to type the name. There we go, it's the first package right there. So as you can see at the bottom is installing. I think it's installed already, but Sublime is also refreshing the settings to work with Emmet. So I don't need to close my Sublime to see Emmet working. And again, let's make sure this Emmet is installed correct. Go to the command palette again, and just type emmet. Now, as you can see, we have a lot of commands from emmet here. And also, you have on the right side the shortcuts for emmet. So this is really helpful because especially emmet, we have a lot of stuff. I don't know all of them, so I use the basic one, but you can see here what we're looking for. So let's write some HTML code. Let's go to here. Okay, so let's get the example of the list. I think is really nice because you have a list and you have the child of the list, the elements. So if I type UL and press tab, you have a list. If I type UL and do, okay, under UL, I want to ally element and hit tab. This is, emmet is doing that for me. Okay, but I want a list with 10 items. You just multiply that. Oops. You have 10 items right here. But let's customize this a little bit more. I don't want to just a plain list. I need to have class for that list to style the list. Sometimes I need to add an ID to use with my JavaScript file. So let's try do this. This is my list. And also this is my item. So as you can see, we have the list with class and all my ally elements with class. And you can do a little bit more with emmet. So let's say we just, I don't want my list. I want my list and something else. Like if you're familiar with Bootstrap, we have the tag, the class list style list, inline list. So you can add multiple classes in the same element. And you can also add ID if you want to, because you will manipulate by jQuery or JavaScript. So let's call this my list. There we go. You have a list with multiple classes, an ID, and class on each item. But let's go a little bit more. We have a list, but I don't want all the elements, the ally, with the same class. I want to customize one class for each. How can I do that? I just add the $sign right here, and emmet knows how to do it, what to do. So now I have my item 1, 2, 3, and so on. And we can do the same thing for a content. So let's say you are building your comment right here by emmet, and you want to add something inside the elements, the ally elements. You just open the brackets and hello from developers. There you go. You have the content inside the list. And again, you can customize this how you want to. So I want front-end developers, but I want to see which line I'm at. So I have my item in the class and hello front-end developers 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so when you're creating especially a layout from scratch, what usually I do, and I recommend you guys to do, is when you close the tag, you add, okay, I'm closing that nav, I'm closing that header, so we need to add a comment there, like this right here. So we know this div is closing that container fluid. So emmet helps us to do that. We don't need to write this by our own. So let's create a container fluid for inside that container, I will create another div called inner. But I want Sublime to do the comment for me. So this is called a filter. Sublime notes, sorry, emmet, the emmet package. So how can we do that? We need to add this filter to emmet. I just do the C, and there we go. Sublime emmet automatically adds the comments after you close the HTML tag. And this is really helpful, and to maintain the code organized is really cool. I'm showing you guys only HTML stuff, but Emmet works really well with CSS as well. So let's open a CSS file. Let's close the sidebar. I don't want this. And I want to open a CSS file. If I press .css in my go to anything, it lists all my CSS files for my project, and I can just open like this, double click. So let's scroll to my minimap by the end of the file. And let's see the power of Emmet on CSS files. So let's create a container. I was doing this. Container, fluid. And Sublime, Emmet is really smart to know what you want to type on the rules for your CSS. So let's say you want to, like this, display none. If you try display, something like this, and oops. Display. Oh, Sublime is already showing me what's happening behind the roads. So I can do like this. Let's add overflow hidden, sorry. I need to add a position. I can write just the beginning of the rule and add something like this. Posing. Oops. Position. By default is relative, but you can add. Sometimes it goes to another thing, but I can do position like this. Position absolute. And you can do this with all CSS rules. You don't need to write everything. Oh, another thing cool about Emmet and CSS is that you can try to do, let's say you want to hide, this container fluid will be 100 pixel large. So you can do something like this. By default, Emmet will add the pixel on the right, but sometimes you work with percentage, or if you are working a responsive project, you use EM or REM. So we just need to add right here. So if I want percentage, I just type P. There you go. If I want EM, I just type E. If I want REM, just type R. So this is really helpful. Okay, so this is the Emmet guy. Now, another thing about Emmet, he also adds some shortcuts on our HTML. Like if you want to, I am on this nav element, and I don't know where this is closing the tag. I can see here by Sublime. As you can see, Sublime adds a subline right here. But let's say you want to change this nav for header or another element. How can you do that? You just press Control W. Oops, sorry guys. Command Shift K, and there you go. Oops. Let's try again. Command Shift K. Yeah, there you go. So nav, I want to update this to header. And also sometimes you have this block of code and you wanna wrap this inside another element. You wanna add like a container, inner or whatever. You can do something like this. Press Control W, and you add element. By default, Sublime will add a div. You can change this for other things like span or aside, whatever you want to. Okay, so I talked a lot about Emmet. Let's take a look on other nice packages that you can extend our Sublime functionality. How can I install a package again? Command Shift P, install package. Now I will install a package called compare side by side. Let's say you have a project, you don't have a Git in this project, so you cannot compare with old versions. And you have a local file you want to compare with an online file, or you have two files that you want to compare. This package is really helpful for that. So I already installed that, I think. Let's make sure I installed it. Compare with, so it's installed. How does that work? So let's get this dashboard file right here. You right click, you have this option now, compare with. And now Sublime display my open, you need to have the file open. I want to compare this dashboard CSS with my Bootstrap CSS. There we go. So the compare side by side is saying I have 91 lines removed and a lot of new lines added, and you can see the difference here. In this case, the files are very different, but when you need to compare files, it's really helpful. Now I will install, I came, to be honest, 4 years ago, I was using Dreamweaver. Shame on me. But Dreamweaver has actually some cool features, and sometimes you miss that here. So, like when you're adding an image, you want to see the files that are on your folder to add on your image, the path. So let's say we are adding an image like this. And okay, so you need to remember the folder, the name of the image, and sometimes you don't remember. So we have a package to fix that. So let's install this package. Install package. The name of the package is auto file name, right here. Just click. Yes, is there already? So there you go. I just put my caret there, and it's showing my folder structure right here. So CSS, Bootstrap CSS. It's not an image, right? Just to you guys understand what's going on. Another plugin that's nice for Sublime, when you work with your left sidebar to see your files, you have only a few options here, like rename, delete file, and reviewing finder. We can increase this a lot with this package right here. Install package. The package is called sidebar enhancements. Is installed. Yeah, there you go. If you right click a file, now you have a lot of other options right here. So you can find and replace on this file. You can open this in a browser, open a new window. Have a lot of cool stuff. So this is helpful to extend the functionality for the left sidebar. Okay, now I will talk about a third-party application. It's called Dash. I don't know if you guys know what Dash is, but most of the time when you're programming PHP, JavaScript, you need to go to the documentation to find the methods, the properties, whatever. So Dash is pretty much an API for documentation, and you have your code snippets in one place. So let's install Dash. It's really fast. Dash documentation. Dash for Mac. I will download. And now I need to have a package to integrate both. So while it's downloading, I will install a package called DashDoc. And I will open my Dash that I just installed. Okay, so I have already downloaded JavaScript documentation, but you can find a lot of documentation here. So as you can see, they still have ActionScript, .NET, AngularJS, Bootstrap. So let's download some of them. As we get PHP. Okay. So now you have the documentation in one place. You don't need to go to Google and type what you're looking for. You have everything just in one place. You can download a ton of documentation. This is a paid app as well, but if you don't pay, sometimes they will like, hey, hold on 15 seconds to see the documentation. It's not a big deal, it's 15 seconds. Okay, so I have a Bootstrap installed already, and I have a JavaScript documentation installed already. So how it works with Sublime? Where's my PHP? Okay. Let's open. Oh, now I will switch the project. I don't want this Bootstrap project anymore because I want to show you guys some PHP functions right here. Okay, so I have this PHP. I'm start working with PHP. I don't know what define means. So instead of going to Google, you can just press Ctrl-H and go direct to your dash and on the thing that your cursor is on. So defines a name and a constant. You can see the official documentation from PHP. And this works with all languages that they have on the documentation. So you can just navigate through here, Laravel, Joomla, Drupal, Ruby. And this is really helpful. I use a lot. Also in Concepta, the company that I work for, I also do some apps using Titanium. So in specific Titanium, like I'm starting working with, I need to find the methods, the properties for the comments. So I usually dash. I just open a project, I press again, command, Ctrl-H, and go direct to the documentation. Okay. Now, let's say it helps a lot when you are working with a partner. You have multiple files open. Let's open it right here. You are showing to someone, okay, so let me open the HTML Bootstrap. Okay, so you're showing the meta tags to your partner, and then suddenly you need to go to your subheader right here, and you go to another file and you want to go back here. So Sublime has a nice feature called bookmarks, so you can define, okay, I want to find this later. So you just go to, I don't remember the shortcut for that, so I'm trying to find here, bookmarks. Okay, so the shortcut is Command F2. So let's try, Command F2. There you go. As you can see on the left side, we have an arrow there, so which means now I bookmarked this line right here. Then let's bookmark another line to see how it works. Let's go, oh, there's a K lost here. Let's mark this script right here. Command F2. Oops, sorry. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so now I forgot where was the previous code that I was working on. So what should I do in this case? I have two bookmarks created. I can go to them and next bookmark. There you go. It's there. So when you have a lot of files, a lot of code, it is really helpful. So now Sublime has this layout by default. It's not too fancy. Sometimes you want to customize that. So we have external teams to do this. I work with a team called Cobalt 2. So let's find this team right here. Cobalt 2 Sublime Text. Okay, so how can I install a team? A team actually Sublime understands as a package. So you go to your package control. Again, install package. and I want to find this Cobalt. Oh, so it's a team, because you can see here before, Cobalt 2. Okay, so I install a team and nothing happened. Where is my new team? Go to the documentation. You need to add the color scheme and the team on your settings user. Remember, your setting user, don't do this on the settings default. I just need to copy this, go to my setting user, and add this right here. There we go. I have sometimes you need to close because it's not like this. Because let's open my project. There we go. So now we have fancy icons for the file, for CSS, for JavaScript, HTML, and we have this new look. Okay. Let's go back to my, I think I don't have more time, right? This theme that I just installed there is from a guy called Wes Bos, and he wrote this book, Sublime Text Power User. It's a really cool book. You will learn a lot of stuff on here, and I get some information from there. That's graphics that I showed before are from those guys on Frontify, a company called Frontify. And you can learn more about Sublime on their official documentation. There's an unofficial documentation. There's this really old course from Tuts Plus. It's the first course that I took there, like 3 years ago, actually. And it's for Sublime Text 2, but a lot of things still apply for Sublime Text 3. If you are a member of Code School, they have a short screencast about Sublime Text 3. It's like a 10-minute screencast, but they can show helpful tips as well. And I've signed up for this newsletter. They send, I think, weekly some tips for Sublime, some new teams, some integrations, and you can follow those guys on Twitter. They have a really nice, cool things. And that is you tomorrow showing your coworkers using Sublime. Thank you, guys. That's it for today.